Now at 5, Kingwood flood victims get a promise from the governor. What he had to say after touring an area hit hard by Harvey.
Plus, how far do you have the University of Houston going in your brackets? The Cougars are hoping for a deep run, and that journey begins tonight. We're going to take you live to Wichita.
And when you're having fun, sometimes you lose track of your things. We're going behind the scenes to the Houston Rodeo's Lost and Found.
We begin with Governor Gov Abbott's promise to help prevent future floods in the Kingwood area.
He pledged millions to the cause, and he made the announcement after taking an aerial tour of the damage, specifically the San Jacinto River. Jason Miles live from the Kingwood Community Center with more on this. Hey, Jason.
Hey there, guys. The governor flew over the area, then met with folks at the community center here behind me. He promised $3 million will be spent right now on San Jac River dredging. Neighbors here say, well, that's a start. Governor Greg Abbott boarded a Blackhawk in the lot of a Kingwood park and ride. Soon he was airborne to get a look at the San Jacinto River. Air 11 was up too, and you can easily see the sand and sediment buildup that many believe worsens the flooding risk here.
Some of the living residential areas are still a disaster zone in need of either repair or demolition.
5 feet of water ruined Cheryl Troby's home. She shared these photos taken during the height of Harvey and the rebuilding process that continues more than 6 months later.
Some of our neighbors have been able to move in. There are a lot of neighbors who have just are just starting the initial phase, and some people have just selling their homes as is.
Troby was one of dozens who greeted the governor with posters and other signs demanding solutions, namely dredging of the San Jac River and clearing of sandbars and sediments he saw firsthand.
What do you hope it helps prevent?
Future flooding.
Abbott met with state and local leaders following his tour and told me to deliver a message to the people outside.
Safe to say today dredging will happen?
When you leave, go out and tell them the governor provided millions of dollars today for dredging.
The governor says $3 million will be spent right now on the engineering and permitting process to determine exactly where dredging needs to occur.
April showers bring May flowers.
Neighbors hope this will be the last time any governor flies over a flood's aftermath in Kingwood. And there are 3 more takeaways from the event here today. The governor says that sand mining operations will be better monitored moving forward. He also authorized the San Jac River Authority to come up with a long-term flood mitigation plan. And also 900 more voluntary buyouts have been approved, 134 here in Kingwood alone. You can read much more about all of this on KHOU.com. Reka?
Yeah, that area still needs so much help. Thank you, Jason. All right, we've been following some breaking news out of Florida where a new pedestrian bridge has collapsed. That bridge connected Florida International University with the city of Sweetwater. Now, there's no official numbers just yet, but police believe several people are dead and more are injured. At least 6 people have been taken to area hospitals. We're going to have an update on KHOU 11 News at 5:30.
A troubling ordeal for a North Houston community. Police believe drug use played a role in a SWAT standoff that happened in the 200 block of Van Molen this morning. During the standoff, police say a man shot at them. Matt Doherty was there not long after it began, and Matt, this thing turned deadly.
Yeah, it sure did. Police say not long after the standoff began, the man ended up killing himself. Those other 2 suspects surrendered. They're now in custody. None of them have been identified. Now, the standoff started just a little bit after 10 o'clock this morning when a woman called 911. She reported a bad smell coming from a truck that had pulled into her driveway. The firefighter showed up first, and police say the firefighters tried to communicate with the 3 men inside the truck, but they called the police. When that didn't work, 2 officers showed up. They were shot at by one of the men in the truck. Police say the officers took cover, didn't shoot back, and called for reinforcements. The standoff finally ended when one of the men shot and killed himself while the other 2 surrendered.
All 3 individuals that were inside the vehicle have been on dope pretty much all night long. They've been on a bender since early this morning. They come back here, continue using dope inside the vehicle, which is probably what the foul odor is. And because of that, the impaired judgment, being high on dope, it goes down the way it goes down.
Now, the woman who called police for help didn't want to be on camera, but she agrees with police, saying she believes the smell was drugs. Police now saying they believe the men were using crack cocaine. Now, the mayor responded to the incident this afternoon, saying this is exactly the reason why Houston police are required to wear those ballistic vests. We're live in North Houston. Standing for Houston, Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
A wild day in that neighborhood. Thank you so much, Matt.
2 people are hurt and another person is missing after a pair of explosions at a chemical plant in Hood County. That's about 25 miles southwest of Fort Worth. The first explosion happened around 10 o'clock this morning, the second one around 11:15 a.m. By noon, the plant had collapsed.
Back here at home, we've been lucky lately with a string of beautiful days. But can you tell it's starting to get a wee bit warmer? I say wee bit because, you know, St. Patrick's Day gets closer. It's a wee bit
warmer. But Brooks, we don't want it to get too warm now.
You don't want it to get too warm. No. Guys, the normal high. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, look where you got me now. Doing my best Irish impression. So today is the 15th. It's the Ides of March. 2063 years ago, Julius Caesar was slayed by his own. And the average high in Texas was 73 degrees. That's where we stand today, and that's what our temperature is right now. By the 1st of April, we're up to 77. We're talking about the theme of let's hope it doesn't get too warm too soon. By May 1st, the average high is 83 degrees, and as we head toward the first part of summer, which falls on June 20th, we're sitting at about 92 degrees for daytime average highs. So, long story short, a story that was true 2 millennia ago and true today. Enjoy this weather. Soak it in. March is a beautiful month here in Texas, despite the clouds, despite the humidity, and despite the chance for a couple thunder showers this weekend. 72 at Houston right now, 70 in Eagle Lake, 71 in Galveston. This is what it looks like tonight with the cloud cover and the south breezy wind. We'll have temperatures remaining mild, 70 by 7 o'clock, 69 by 9, and 66 by 11. So if you're going down to Keith Urban tonight at the rodeo, it should be A-OK, range-free and mild. Reka.
All right, thank you, Brooks. Who will survive and advance? March Madness is in full swing. And in a little over an hour, the U of H Cougars will be in the spotlight in Wichita, Kansas. Now, it's been 8 years since they've been to the big dance, and they want to make sure they stick around a while. Matt Musil is there. So, Matt, are the Cougar fans just dreaming big here?
Oh, hey, they're dreaming big. I think they should. I think the optimism is justified. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup with San Diego State University. Of course, this game will tip off at 6:20 up here in Wichita. Now, yesterday, head coach Kelvin Sampson talked long and hard about the height and strength of San Diego State. And when you listen to the UH players, which I have a lot this week, it's obvious that they are well aware of that fact also.
You know, this isn't the first time we were outmatched with size. You know, we're very undersized in a lot of positions, and the size doesn't matter. You know, like Coach Sampson said, if size mattered, what happened to the dinosaurs? You know, so I mean, we just have a lot of heart. We go out there and we play with heart. That's the only thing that gets us where we need to be. Playing with heart, playing tough-nosed, gritty basketball. That's what we do.
You know, we pride ourselves on defense and rebounding, and we know we'll have a good test coming out in the first round, and we'll get a chance to show everyone nationally that what we've been working on all year and the pride that we have in our defense.
You talk with these Cougar players, they definitely want to show the national audience what UH basketball is all about. San Diego State, in recent history, has been a regular in the NCAA tournament. UH wants to be a regular also, Reka.
Okay, so Maddie, what's your prediction for tonight?
For tonight's game? UH should win. I'm saying 65-60. And as Brooks was talking about, beware the Ides of March. I love that reference to the Ides of March. I think San Diego State should be aware of the Ides of March. I'm picking the Cougs to win 65-60.
Oh, we're all crossing our fingers. We hope that comes true. Thank you, Maddie.
All right. This next story is fun. How are you feeling about your bracket so far? There's definitely an art to making good picks. In an effort to figure out a good technique, our own Kyle Porter got a lot of help from people around town.
So I'm more of an NBA fan and not so much college basketball, but it's March Madness and I need a lot of help filling out my bracket. From downtown Houston.
Let's see.
where it's all about staying on track.
I'm gonna write down Kansas.
To the East End, as Erica seals her pick.
Texas Tech.
It's all about teams knocking each other out.
Oh, here we go. Duke.
Holy cow.
Remember, it's not illegal to pick upsets.
We'll see. Hold on. I will pick Michigan State over Bucknell. You can take that to the bank, big fella.
Speaking of, some teams will be too hard to chase.
Okay, I feel like Texas is gonna win.
Catching fire when it matters most.
Yeah, let's jump on the Cougs. We run U of H over here.
A record 7 Texas teams are in the tournament, including U of H.
Yeah, they've already been taken. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M.
The odds of picking 100% is near impossible.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Just give me a second.
So maybe
Gonzaga. There we go.
it doesn't require much analysis after all. So why not take a swing?
New Mexico State.
As long as your selection is good.
I'll take Loyola Chicago over Miami.
Teams will try to pave their way to the Final Four,
Florida State.
Well, I've never heard of Limpsicum.
but in the end,
I'm going to stick with Auburn there.
maybe all we need is a little bit of faith.
St. Bonaventure looks good.
64 teams, 1 championship. Standing for Houston, Kyle Porter, KHOU 11 News.
That's pretty good. Kyle getting advice from everybody,
Yeah.
even some heavenly advice there.